The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for Living a Primal Lifestyle with your host, Nico de Haan. And now, here's Nico de Haan.
Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke. We're here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. How's it going, Paige?
It's going great.
You have a good week?
I did.
Busy, busy, busy. This time of year, it just seems to get busier. It's just, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I'm jammed. I know you are, too. You're always going.
The holidays are here.
But it shouldn't be too busy to pick up my Health Signals newsletters, folks. So please go to the site and look for Health Signals and check it out. You get it free for 30 days, and then it's only $10 a month for 2 gigantic issues, all the news you need to keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise.
And people pay hundreds of dollars a year to, thousands of dollars to get the kind of information that you're getting.
Yeah, and, we're really steering it towards us getting better, not only Paige and I, but all you guys. We want you to get healthier, and we want you to be cognizant of your health and why you may not be feeling the greatest you should feel.
And we really appreciate your feedback and your questions, and we want to encourage you. If there's things that you want us to talk about, things you want us to research and have a dialogue about and address for you, please send us your questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes it fun.
Hey, thanks, Ken from Philly. Thanks a lot for that message. I wanted to talk about this because this is kind of teeing me off because this is talking about this article. Well, let me just read it. It's about artificial sweeteners, okay? 30 years ago, the number of ingredients used to sweeten food and beverages could be counted on one hand. Today, there are 25 ingredients used to replace sugar. Regardless whether you think this change benefits our food supply or not, there's no question that consumer understanding of what is sweetening their food and beverages has failed to keep pace with this dramatic change. So what's actually going on is there's a big lobby going on in Congress about getting this off of labels, so we won't be able to know if it's artificially sweeteners. They're going to have some generic word like saying naturally sweetened.
Kind of like natural flavors. Whenever you see the words natural flavor on a label, you can assume that that's a chemical that they don't want to have to list. So they're going to move in the same direction with the sweeteners. So it might just say sweetened.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's real cane sugar or something healthier, or if it's saccharin, or if it's...
yeah, there's a lot of them. There's Sweet and Low, Equal, Splenda, Saccharin, Aspartame. How
about hydrogenated starch hydrosates?
Yeah. And those are only the top 5 or 6 there. There's they mentioned like 25 or 30 of them that are. And some of them are not being used much, but a lot of them are, and a lot of them we know are not the healthiest thing for us. Paige and I both believe if you're going to sweeten your food in some way, the best way to do it is going to be on sugar or honey.
Yeah,
or
even
just natural
grade B maple syrup. I mean, if you're going to be using sweeteners, use them that are made by our creator here.
Yeah.
Not in the laboratory. And I think this is all indicative of what's going on. That there's a lot of money to be made by creating substances, and they can create things that taste sweet, look sweet, and they make a lot of money off of it. And I think we need to keep these things out of our food. So pay attention to all the initiatives to try and keep us from being exposed to these laboratory-created sweeteners. They're just not any good. Not any good.
No good. We do have a caller on the line, so we're going to go to Tom in Tampa, and he wants to talk about avocados and beef jerky and things like that. So, Tom, how you doing today?
Hey, good, Nico. How's it going?
It's going excellent.
Hi, Tom.
Hi there, Paige. Nico, the avocado, I've tried that a couple times. I couldn't get over how good I felt later. Like you said, it's got those healthy fats in it.
Yeah.
Now, what about the shell on that thing? Obviously, is that edible too, or is that something you need to get rid of? I was just curious.
You mean the covering of it?
Right.
No, you don't eat that.
That's funny that you brought that up. We were actually, right before the show, we were talking about the avocado. No, you don't want to eat the shell.
No.
Okay.
And the avocado is actually such a great food, not just for the healthy fats, Tom, but also because it's one of the second highest food in glutathione. Glutathione is really what we make inside, which is our own natural body's antioxidant.
Yeah.
So it's great in that
and
way.
Antioxidants, of course, are going after all those free radicals in your body that is polluting your body. So it's really good. And the fats that are in the avocado, of course, are monounsaturated fats primarily, and then some saturated fat and some polyunsaturated fat also.
Small amount of polyunsaturated fat, and we're going to be talking a lot more about PUFAs and polyunsaturated fats, but as it goes, the avocado is actually a fruit.
Yes.
And we're understanding that eating fruits are actually easier for our body to deal with.
Yes.
Sometimes I come home, for dinner, I can eat one avocado. I'm good to go for the night. I feel good. I'm not hungry.
Yeah. In fact, my wife and I eat an avocado. We split one just about every day with a meal, sometimes not even having much more than our meat and the avocado. So we're really getting away from vegetables a lot. It's just, I know, we feel so good. Well, I'm glad you said that, because that's the whole key to eating the way we are. We feel so good. We know we're on the right track because of that.
It's a good food choice. It really is.
So you want to talk about beef jerky too? Is that?
Yeah. What's your take on that stuff, Nico? I've seen it on the shelf. Is that just something to stay away from? Is it okay to snack on the stuff now and then? Yeah,
it's definitely okay to snack on. The more natural you can get the beef jerky, if you go to the health food store, see it hanging there, might not be the best option. I would go to a natural meat provider, and there's plenty of them on the internet. If you Google pasteurized meat, make sure that you're getting it from animals that are pasteurized, and same with if you're getting jerky from a fish, like salmon jerky, make sure that it's wild, and therefore you're getting all the good ingredients, and they're not adding MSG and
nitrates.
And
just look at the ingredients list. If there's a lot of them, chances are that's not your best choice.
Yeah, a lot of them sweeten it with artificial sweeteners too.
And I've been to a lot of farmers markets now.
Yeah.
I was up in Tennessee visiting my sister, and there are a lot of people that are making this, and in an organic and traditional way.
Yeah. We have a couple of guys in our dojo that bring it in once in a while, and they make it beef, they make it from turkey.
And they're making it themselves.
They're making it themselves, so then it's good. Yeah, great stuff.
So it's the fats that we like in this beef jerky, right?
It's the fats
and the protein.
And the protein. The protein is naturally dried protein. It's something that our ancestors carried with us. The biggest thing they did is when they take the muscle meat, they take the muscle meat home because they're eating all the blood and stuff on site. And when they take it home, they dry it out, and that's the way it's kept. As we got more modern, they use salt as a brine to protect it. But, it's very good, and I use it on trips.
It's very much a traditional Native American food.
Yes,
Is it called pimlico?
Pemsico or something like that.
Okay, we'll Google that on the break. But,
that's different, though, than beef jerky, because that's 90% fat.
Oh, it is?
And I'll bring some in, because I have some in my refrigerator.
Okay.
In my freezer. And I eat that, too.
I saw something on the shelf today for the first time, and I know you're big on those almonds, Nico. I snack on those all the time.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned those. Sometimes I get wrapped up at lunch. I go right through lunch, and I'll have maybe, 6, 7 different ounces of almonds because I can't get away. It's just that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Well, beef jerky is a good option for that because, again, almonds are seeds, and you don't want to eat too many of them, and they're easy to go through. The thing I have, if I have a little drink in the evening on the weekend, I'll snack on a little bit of some kind of nuts. But I try to cut it off, and so I put it in a small dish, so I make sure I don't, because they're real habit form.
It's really easy to just keep going.
Yeah, just keep on grabbing it.
Right.
Yeah, right. How are you coming on your book, Nico?
Boy, it's tough. We're going through the editing process, and after that, there's kind of the rewriting and restructuring. So I'm hoping 3 months from now we'll have the book in hand.
Awesome. Okay, you guys are an awesome duo, man.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Appreciate your call. You too.
Okay, so the artificial sweetener thing is disturbing, but that kind of leads me on to this whole global thing. And I saw this on CNN this morning, and it popped right in my head saying, boy, this is something else. Global life expectancy rises sharply, which is a very good thing.
Nice headline. Everyone likes that.
Everybody likes that headline. You go dig a little bit deeper, they're saying, but the obesity is becoming a bigger problem than hunger. And there is a real correlation there. As soon as I saw that, I said, of course it is, because we've got plenty of food, and most of it's the garbage food, the grains and things that we feed, especially people that are very hungry. Well, a sack of rice. Here you go, and you're all set. So instead of feeding people the great food, they're feeding people now these foods that get them fat.
And as a result, obesity is actually a malnutrition disease.
Yes.
Because one of the reasons that people become obese is they are malnutrition. They're not getting the nutrition. And the body is saying, hey, I'm not getting what I need, but I better pack things on.
Angie said
pemmican. Thank you. Pemmican. Thanks,
yeah.
Angie. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
what it is, yeah. And I have some of that. It's great stuff, I'll tell you. And when you first eat it, and it's funny, when I first started on this primal type diet, a lot of the foods that I'm eating now tasted kind of weird.
Yeah. And
slowly, and rather quickly, I must say, the food tastes changed in your body. And all of a sudden you start liking this stuff. I remember the first time I tried the pemmican, I said, I'm not too fond of this. And then now every once in a while I grab a bar of it.
Well, bring some in, because I've never tried it. I've read about it. And thanks, Angie.
That's fantastic. So what's happening in this obesity, this global epidemic, is that actually people are living longer, but we're getting sicker, and that's another article that I have here is the health rankings. USA is living longer, but we're getting sicker.
I think we're number 34 on the list.
Oh, really?
I mean...
Of health?
I mean...
you're talking about the health.
In terms of longevity or something, I think I saw in this article somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is this is happening all through industrial nations. And so the type of food that we're eating, we're actually pushing on to many of these other countries because the United States is so rock and roll great, of course.
But when you see the effects of the American diet on other people in other countries, I was having dinner the other night and talking with a French woman, and I talked about how, we know the French paradox. Typically, French people eat the higher fat diets, right. Traditional diets, but maintain their weight and their health. And she said not anymore, though, with the influence of the American diet. She's seeing a big change.
Well, everything, since we've pushed everybody into a working mode, of course we had...
the convenience foods?
Yeah, it's convenience foods. It's the whole thing about our whole civilization. When Rockefeller said in the 60s, we were right behind the women's movement, because then, and he actually said this in an interview, he says... Because if we put millions of dollars into this woman movement, we get all the women out of the kitchen, and we move them into work, and now we can have the children. Because the children have to go somewhere, so they're not going to stay in the home. Now we can put them in the schools, and the sooner we can indoctrinate them into our system.
That's the word. Don't say educate, indoctrinate. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing in a sense.
Well, what I mean is that's really,
exactly
they're more focused on indoctrination than education.
Yeah, and Hitler knew this. That's why you saw the little children's camps.
Someone sent me a thing on Facebook the other day that said children need to know how to think, not what to think.
Exactly.
And that's what I think.
And same with adults.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And Mitch was asking, what is this pemmican? And it's mostly dried meat and fat, but some people use dried fruit in there too. Some like peanut butter and things like that, which I would never put in it. But most of it is really fat with a little bit of protein in it. So that's what
it was. The warrior's food on the road.
The number here, folks, is 877-927-6648. So please give us a call and check out my Health Signals newsletter. And if you want to send us a little message, you can catch us at Nico or Paige. Nico at TFNN.com, Paige at TFNN.com. And we'll be right back.
Thanks.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Happy holidays from TFNN. Our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale is back this December at TFNN. Normally, we offer only a 10 to 20% bonus on Tiger Dollar purchases, but through December 19th only, when you purchase Tiger Dollars to spend on any of our products, you get a 25% bonus on your purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. You'll receive a personalized thank you letter directly from our local Clearwater Salvation Army administrator in appreciation of your donation. Tiger Dollars can be used on any of our newsletters or subscriptions, never expire, and are fully transferable. Take advantage of our most rewarding Tiger Dollar sale of the year right now. Visit TFNN.com for all the details and to make your purchase today. Happy holidays from TFNN.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Great Panther Silver. For more information, just click the Great Panther Silver banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. And the number here is 877-927-6648. So give us a call if you have any questions or you want to bring up a topic. And we certainly appreciate all you listeners, all you taggers out there giving us information. And, of course, both Paige and I are available as consultants on this whole matter of health and fitness. I'm a personal trainer, and so is Paige. Paige goes way beyond in her holistic health endeavors, way beyond what I can do. But we're both educating ourselves, and
we're a great team.
Yeah, we are a good team.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's for
sure.
sure.
Fun.
So we were talking before about. You were bringing up the thing about
the whole chemical exposure. Kind of tying into everyone. We're encouraging everyone to try and support organic foods, obviously.
Yes.
Primarily because of the chemicals that are on them. But we want you to be aware, just because you buy something organic at these big food stores doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't have chemicals and pesticides.
That's very true.
And want to encourage you to make sure you rinse them and be aware, and that you really never really know. The bottom line is that you never really know unless you know the grower. And that's why the popularity of all of these farmers markets. We've got one operating right here in our little Bel Air Bluffs area on Fridays. From 10 to 3, one in downtown Clearwater. So
I think, yeah.
You can basically, in our area, on any given day, you can, find out where there's an open air market.
Yeah. And, with our civilization the way it is here in America, it's nice and convenient to have these food stores all over the place. But it really doesn't make sense to me to start shipping food all over the country. I mean, I love the California avocados. Don't get me wrong. I like them better than the Florida avocados.
Yeah, we have Florida avocados, and we have the California, and I prefer the buttery taste of the
because
California
the other ones
avocado.
are very watery, the Florida ones.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is that the closer to home we can get the food, getting it from people that we know, it just makes much more sense. We don't have to spend a lot of fuel.
Did you realize that Florida is like one of the largest cattle states in the...
Yeah, I know.
We think it's Texas, but we actually, because of our year-round growing, that's kind of good for the grass-fed beef market.
Yeah. Now, we do have a caller on the line, so let's get to Al in Boston.
Okay.
Al, how you doing today? Are you there, Al? Did he leave us?
Oh, Al dropped. Okay, call us back, Al.
Yeah, give us a call. We got about 2 or 3 minutes left on this break, and then after the break, we can take care of Al's request.
Well, you know what? Just to go more on this.
Yes.
I like wine. In fact, I have a family member that actually has a vineyard and grows grapes and bottles wine. Joseph Sellers, Napa wine. But I kind of brought this up with him because I know that he works very hard to make sure that he's growing his grapes organically, but I was surprised to hear that California allows organic pesticides that they still actually are heavy with a fluoride, a creolite,
really?
I believe is the is the chemical that actually is a fluoride chemical. So in effect, many times, even in California wines, we're getting heavily fluoridated through the wine, which is kind of distressing for me, because I love that red wine. But
I do too. I had a little last night, matter of fact.
Just the takeaway point, guys, is that I want you to be aware. Buy your organic foods. We know they're much higher in nutrition for all those reasons. We know they don't have the dangerous GMOs, but they still may have some chemicals, and the difference is organic has to use natural pesticides. It can't be a synthetic chemical. That's one of the things, but they still can use natural pesticides. So just take the time, wash them, be careful, and try and buy from people you know that minimize the need for these things.
Yeah, and of course stay away from all GMO time. So we say Al is back, but I'm going to wait till after the break. We only got about a minute and a half. I want to make sure that Al gets his due. So please hang on the line, Al, and we'll get with you right after the break here. Another thing, of course, the GMOs is very important to stay away from those because we have no history of what that effect will do. But again, the important thing is buying off people that we know and supporting your local people.
And I want to put a little plug in for the Alliance of Natural Health. You can Google them. They're really trying to help us, I guess, with the financial cliff. The companies like Monsanto, the food companies and agribusiness are trying to add provisions in the financial cliff legislation that would help them be able to just plant GMOs. So really watch it. If you really understand what happened to a lot of our freedoms when the Patriot Act was passed under panic, when we were led to believe, we've got to do something. These lobbyists get in and they pad pockets and do whatever lobbyists do, and then they get legislation passed and we don't even realize it. Yeah. So if any of you are aware of what happened, we've got some of that same stuff going on. Go support the Alliance of Natural Health. Notify your congressman. You don't want, say no to GMOs.
That is for sure. And we're going to be right back, folks, but pick up my Health Signals newsletter in the meantime during this break and help support the show, Paige and I, and get you a lot of information that we talk about on the show, but a lot in there that isn't in the show, so real important. Also, 877-927-6648, and Paige and I will be right back with Al.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. This is Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. And on the line, we have Al from Boston. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around. Appreciate it. What can we do for you today?
I came across a book online that it's called The Start Solution.
The Start Solution, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
It's totally against, everything that your format, or your way to eat, I should say.
So what is it promoting?
It says he promotes starches.
Right. So those are grains and...
grains, barley, wheat,
potatoes,
pasta, breads, oats, potatoes, sorghum, corn.
Basically a vegan or vegetarian type of regime?
Yeah, no meat or very little meat, and very little fat or no fat.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And he claims that this goes way back, and I was curious on your take on what that would be. You can just you can Google Dr. McDougall,
okay,
McDougal, and starch diet, starch food.
I've read
it'll pop right up.
Yeah, I've read lots of things about a vegetarian diet. I was on a vegetarian diet for about 3 or 4 years back in the 70s when it was really kind of fashionable thing.
A macrobiotic diet.
A macrobiotic diet. As an athlete, my performance really waned on it. I did lose weight on it. I looked pretty healthy. I thought I was eating healthy. I feel so much better in what I'm doing, and that for me is the real test.
I know. I listen to you all the time. And, you know, I know what you've done and everything. I was more curious on what your take on the whole.
Well, let's do this.
He's got some pretty good, he's got some evidence on there.
Oh, sure.
If you go online and just read, he's got like a preamble to his book,
sure,
and what it's all about, and his scientific research, and
right.
He claims that like the Mediterranean diet is primarily starches, and I know you think that's good because of the oils that the fat they use.
Sure. Mediterranean diet, if you actually go to the countries, you'll find out they're not eating as much starch as they think you are. The main portion of what they're eating is actually fats and meat, and the starches kind of complement those things. That's what the Mediterranean diet is all about. When he's talking about a vegetarian diet, what they're trying to do is replace the proteins that you get from meat and trying to get it from plants. And we're not herbivores. Herbivores are doing great on that type of diet. And you notice they have their face down in the grass most of the day. Herbivores have to eat. And I know a lot of vegetarians, they say eat 6, 7, 8 meals a day, small meals, because you have to eat all the time. And I just don't think from when I look at the evolutionary process of how we evolved, that nature would never be so cruel to have us hungry and going insane with hunger while we're hunting. It just doesn't make sense.
He calls them comfort foods, actually, like pasta, and he says our DNA nails it. That's one of the titles of the paragraph.
Yeah, and that to me is ridiculous, because if we look at about 5,000 years ago and beyond that, we were actually didn't even have agriculture at all. So nobody was making these seeds, which are basically grass seeds, and grinding them up and using them. Maybe as an herb, maybe medicinal-wise, but certainly...
He says totally the opposite. He says, like barley, Middle East for 11,000 years, corn, North, Central, and South America for 7,000 years.
Well, that's not true. Corn was really, maize was around 1,200 years ago is when they started really cultivating it. And if you look at the history of corn, corn was a very, very small seed, the size of maybe 1 inch long, until they started cultivating this. This is, all these foods that we have that are grains were cultivated to this way. They were never naturally this way. A grass seed, if you look at a normal grass seed that isn't cultivated, very few seeds on there, and they're very, very tiny. There's no way you could make a meal out of them. So evolutionary-wise, we domesticated this like we domesticated animals for our purposes, because it was convenient, because we were running out of food. Very many reasons why we switched the grains. And the same reason we're trying to get our whole population into eating this way, because it's very cheap, highly profitable, highly mobile. You can feed thousands of people on this stuff. They might get sick, but it's a slow process.
Yeah. I actually I follow your, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
In fact, I do it. I
really appreciate you bringing this up, because it's an important subject.
Well, there's a lot of, I was going to say, you mentioned this book, and there's a lot of people that ask me, but what about the China study, which is, pretty much really minimizes animal, sourced foods. But, one of the things that I thought about when Nico mentioned that about the grains and how we packaged them, so to speak, so that it was profitable and we could sell them.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand plants have immune systems too, and we don't digest a lot of plant food well. And we talk about nuts and seeds and grains having the enzyme inhibitors, and that's why there's so many digestive issues with these. But there's always going to be people that have different points of view, and we appreciate you sharing it with us. And I'm going to go and check it out a little bit. And
I'd appreciate that, because he does kick in, a lot of. He's a doctor, and he does kick in a lot of scientific stuff.
Sure, and there are.
You don't have to read the book. You can just he gives like a whole summary.
Yes.
Just online.
And another thing, Al, is that some people do pretty well on some of these things. There are these people that, seem to do really well on these types of diets. I don't know how much better they would do on my type of diet. I don't know. But there are people that eat differently than we do, and they do fine, and that's fine. The only thing, what our show is really about, because we're not medical doctors and things like that, I'm trying to tell you my lifestyle and the success that it has helped me towards my health.
I know. I understand.
Yeah, and, that's how we're trying to
And how I
educate
work with people a lot, Al, is that I would describe myself as being kind of a traditional Western pricer. I mean, I do allow myself to have some starches, some grains, properly prepared. That's the key point. Vegetables, fruits, meats. And I like moving people towards the traditional diet. But we always have to kind of look and see what's going on with each person as an individual. Because in reality, we are what we absorb. We are what we digest.
Yeah.
So you can eat everything in the world, but if you're not digesting, one of the things I do with people is try and take a look at what are they digesting.
I will take a look at the book, and it's a real good subject. I'm so glad you called, Al. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care.
Boy, it's a huge subject, and I'm sure we have a lot of people that are thinking about the vegetarian diet. In fact, in my newsletter, there is that article about vegetarian, why we think it's not the way to go. But, hey, the world is full of people doing many different things.
It's kind of like what you and I said, though. I mean, I don't want to get into where we're arguing semantics, because the bottom line is that if we don't eat GMOs, we don't eat processed, packaged, chemicalized foods, then we're all doing the right thing.
There's no doubt. And if you actually prepare some of these foods that I don't even eat in the proper traditional way, where you soak
sourdough
them,
bread, soaked grains.
Sourdough bread. I love sourdough bread. I haven't had it for a long time. But if I go to San Francisco, believe me, I'm going to have a slice of it.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can eat, and I think the less you eat some of these things, the better off you are. But there's no reason why you can't have some rice. There's no reason why you can't have beans. Soak them real good and let them ferment, maybe let them sprout. There are ways that these can be used for you. But what we're saying, if you want optimum health, we need to go back to what our ancestors did successively in the evolutionary path of our history. And it just makes so much sense. And, Paige and I are living proof that you can be healthy, being over 45 or 50 years old.
Yeah.
And being very active and doing amazing things. And, talking to people about this. It's an important subject for me to be able to get on the air and thank Tom O'Brien for opening up the door, saying, Nico, you need to be talking to people, because it's an important thing. You've changed the way I eat. You've changed the way I move. And I want other people to see that. And, I really want to thank Tom for bringing this on and then allowing Paige to come on with me. I dragged you in here one day saying, hey, you need to be on my show, and here we are together.
And we love it, because we like to read the same things, we like to talk about the same things, and we're both say, we might change our mind, we might bring in new information, we're open to new information, this is a discussion, but look guys, the new care is self-care, the new health care is self-care. Something came across my desk that said, food is medicine, and we've got to realize that.
Yes.
Medicine is sick care.
Okay, now I want to bring up a subject, because we have discussed fluoride on this program a couple of times. We've always discussed why we don't want it in our water.
Well, personally, because it's been going on in our environment.
But we really have never discussed, and you've discussed it with me a little bit, we've never discussed on the air, what do we do to get rid of this out of our body if we're drinking tap water?
Well, I have to kind of address that, because everyone knows I'm a hothead about the fluoride. I hate having the water fluoridated where we live. I truly believe it's a big factor in metabolic disease that people get by interfering, and so I'm passionate about that. But I need to get off of it, off my soapbox, and start saying, okay, what do we do about it? Well, first of all, if you live in an area where your water's fluoridated, get involved and try and get the fluoride out of your water. If you don't, then consider yourself very lucky. But I want to let you know, the amount of fluoride in a tube of toothpaste that's fluoridated is enough that you should really actually call poison control.
Really?
You can go and Google fluoride in toothpaste toxin or something, and you'll see a video, and they show you that the amount most people squirt onto their toothbrush, small, is actually enough that it actually has enough fluoride that you should actually call poison control. It's just amazing. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do. I plan to call our local people and ask them what they're going to do to help me offset the cost of filtering out of my water. It's about $5,000.
Class action suit I'm talking about here.
It's about $5,000 to get a whole house fluoridation removal, $2,000 to $5,000. I mean, and it's a very difficult process.
So it's really cheaper to buy bottled water than, I guess.
And then you got to worry about the endocrine disrupting hormones that are in plastic bottles. So I for my drinking water, I get it through Mountain Valley Water, and I have it delivered in big 5-gallon jars and things in the glass. Mm-hmm. So, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about how you can actually help yourself get rid of fluoride. I think I brought up last time that fluoride is part of a chemical family that's on the halogen family on the chemistry periodic table. And there's a couple other bullies that interfere with iodine. And iodine is actually what will help go back into the receptors and help you detox fluoride. So when you start to supplement iodine, you push out the fluoride and the chlorine and the bromine. Bromine is now what we put in bread. Used to be iodine, but they took that out. I mean, I'm wondering why we took
They did
all
the
this
iodine during the testing of the A-bombs.
Right.
That's when they put it in, because we were all susceptible as a population.
They didn't want to let us know, but they wanted to kind of maybe keep it so that we didn't get, so that everybody didn't wake up and say, what's going on? Why is everyone getting cancer and diseases? So they started adding iodine to the bread. So we enjoyed a period of time, from what I understand, in the 60s of having maybe about 20 times the iodine that we're getting, 20, 30 times the iodine we're getting now. And now they've got us back down to a low amount, and they're using some of these other chemicals that bombard our systems. We get chlorine in our city water. We get fluoride in our city water. We're getting bromide in our bread products. So can you understand why people that eat bread and shower and bathe actually have low thyroid function, low metabolic health, low body respiration and energy? So I'm very passionate about trying to help people work on these things. So iodine supplementation is one of the big things that we've talked about, but selenium is a very important mineral that many of us are not getting. Our soils are depleted, but it's also a mineral that needs to be in balance, as all mineral supplementation from foods. I mean, we get our, guess where we get a lot of our selenium? From our animal foods and our eggs and our shellfish like oysters and lobster, crabs, and so forth. So getting a proper amount of selenium is really important to help detox.
Isn't it funny that most of the essential nutrients that we need really come from animal products?
Animal foods are nutrient dense, and that's one of the reasons for a diet lifestyle that we're recommending is gaining so much popularity. Yeah. People are starting to see. I mean, granted, plant foods, greens, and everything are loaded with amazing phytochemicals, but unfortunately, we are what we digest, and we can't digest and break down the cellulose. Yeah. One of the reasons I'm looking at digestive efficiency with my clients, diving down a little deeper and looking at that. So from that standpoint, you get more bang for your buck if you're having some, raw milk and beautiful free-range eggs.
We have the three ingredients, micronutrients, and we have the fats, we have the protein, and we have carbohydrates. That's all broken down into three things. 2 of these are essential, 1 is not. So vegetarian diet, be aware that carbohydrates are non-essential, where fats and proteins are totally essential for life. So we can actually live without any carbohydrates, but you can't live without protein, you can't live without fat. Eskimos prove this. They live off of whale blubber, mostly fat, and a little bit of protein, and lots of indigenous people do too. So the proof is already out there. We just need to absorb it and think about it and just kind of make it part of your lifestyle. We'll be right back, folks. The number here is still 877-927-6648. And take time to get my Health Signals newsletter, please. We'll be right back.
If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Tiger's Den. But wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. It's our last little segment here. You know, this is flu season, too. I know I don't get flu shots. I don't think you do either, right?
I do not get a flu shot.
And so what do we do for the flu if you're not getting a flu shot?
Well, wash your hands.
There you go.
Eat healthy food. Maximize your vitamin D. People who have healthy vitamin D levels, again, if you're looking at your doctor's reference range, it may say something like 30 to 100 is safe, and they'll tell people that are in the 30s that they're adequate. They're not adequate. You really need to be above 60 on your vitamin D levels to be in the ideal range.
Yeah.
I also use some homeopathy to help people prepare and protect themselves.
Yeah, and I think as you get more in touch with your body and you're eating better, you get more sensitive to what's going on, so you can actually catch it a little bit earlier, and then you can do some nice defensive things to prevent it from actually taking hold. And if you do get it, then you can always fall back to traditional. Maybe even if you need to take an antibiotic or something like that, you'll be fine. You'll get through it just fine.
Well, all flus and colds are the body's ability, or the body is trying to get rid of something.
Yep.
So maybe sometimes we need to let our bodies go through this. We build immunity. I I've been reading some interesting information going back to the pandemic of 1918 that it was not, in fact, the flu that killed the people. It was actually been proven that it was actually a bacterial cold kind of on top of that, but also the combination of very, very high doses of aspirin used, I mean, almost like 1,000 milligrams every 2 to 3 hours, which, you know...
Of course, there's a new medicine at that time.
Oh, yeah. And that was recommended by the AMA. Yeah. And so, in fact, you know, thousands and thousands, millions of people died as a result of that.
Now, of course, now we have lots of flu shots, and there are some really downsides. And I know she had an article here about some problems with flu shots.
Information just came out that in 2009, 2010, the vaccine fetal deaths reported were increased by 4,250% due to the flu vaccines given to pregnant women during that time frame. So really take a look at this, look at other ways to prevent these flus.
Yeah. It's a money-making thing. They got this flu shot. You can get it just about anywhere. I'm surprised McDonald's doesn't have a little booth. You know.
Well, when you start to really, look at what's in flu vaccines, the ingredients are just horrific, and it just wouldn't make any sense to want to put these things into your body. Yeah. So I'm really encouraging people to stay away from that.
Yeah, yeah. So, we're deep into the holidays. I know you're not going to be here next week.
Nope, and I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy
folks.
Hanukkah, Happy Holiday.
So my show is following on the winter solstice.
Oh.
So we're going to have a special show next week.
Oh, not only that, you're going to be getting here at 11, so, a lot of people. So what do you think?
Well, I think it's the end of an age.
I hope to see you next week.
Well, I think instead of the end of the world, it's the end of an age. We're getting out.
It is an end of the age.
Yeah, we're getting out of the Pisces and going into Aquarius. And I think I'm going to be talking about precession next week and the whole thing, what our ancient ancestors, when they were looking up in the heavens and what they saw, and how come the Mayans and many of these old cultures built these fantastic monuments, and they were all built around stars and about precession and about how the stars move and how the earth moves. And they had these very elaborate equations that are thousands and thousands of years to go through these cycles, and they knew about them.
They knew about them, and they were anticipating it.
And some of it's really exciting stuff. I mean, I really live to talk about this stuff because it's deep in my heart, and I'm always really fascinated by how much our ancestors knew and how great they were. So anyway, we will see you then in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are you going out of the country again? What's going on?
No. Just family trip.
Cool. So that's it. That's the show this week, folks. I hope everybody just remains nice and healthy. Eat well, have some fun, get some exercise, and that'll take you through the holidays real nice. I'll be here next week, and Paige will be back in 2 weeks. So thanks a lot for sticking around, and I really appreciate those calls coming in. And you in the chat room, you guys are rock stars.
Yes. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.